welcome back. Here we are with episode 7 of our endeavours to port XLnt GUI across the PlayBASIC. We're sort of, 20% of the way through it at the moment. If you feel like giving this video a like and adding a subscription, we would appreciate that a lot. Well, let's get into this thing and see how far we get today. I think last time we were working on this event loop, so we'll go chase it up again. GUI, get event was the main function. This win event loop here. So if we just have a quick run again to refresh my own memory, we got dragging working, which has a separate loop to do that stuff. Some loops are, I think that's the default window, which is set to not support dragging. We're not getting a change to front either, which is kind of what I would expect for that. And minimize is not working too. So obviously with selection there's a problem there. Not quite sure what the problem's going to be at the moment. But we'll try and push through and get the other behaviours. I think the main behaviour we want to try and get in for this session will be resizing of the window. That should be most of those. That should give us most of that code fleshed out. I don't know if that's correct or not, but I think that's roughly where we were last time. So I think what I'll do is I'll take a lot of these sections here and I'll make them secondary functions and possibly just have a call process. So I'll use call function to call the action here rather than do this. It'll mean we can have them split up and, But until then, let's find the other case statements. So we've got drag implemented. So the one above that is what? Scale. I think that's actually all of that. So we've got kill, change, scale, drag, and what else? Back and the minimize control. These are the gadgets and behaviors you can do to Windows. Let's jump in and do it. I might actually start doing this now. As in make that a secondary function. Oh no, we'll just leave it as one block, and then while we're debugging all of this, which is going to take a while to go through and weed out all the faults. Now the faults aren't in the original code, of course. These are faults I've made. Did I not grab that? Wow, that's a bit silly. It's a bit silly then, isn't it? Drag, yeah, okay. Scale, I must not have grabbed that. Drag, did we get all of that code before? I think we did. I'll just make sure. Scale, okay. So we're doing a redraw of the whole screen again. It's the same thing as what the other function was doing, and we're entering a loop where we're doing the resize, and then we're doing something different for the last bit. That's just a second copy of what we just pasted, so we don't need that. Alrighty. I think we've got a few new functions there that we didn't have before, but that's okay. Set buffer CLS. That sounds okay to me. That is definitely the same behavior, so let's not even concern ourselves with that. Let's just go, yep, grab me this. And we'll comment that. And I'll leave that in there. And the clear buffer can stay there as well. I'll leave that in there at some point, because actually I want to have that to refer back to, just in case I've stuffed something up. So I might be just assuming that's the same and then find out later on it's not. Looks the same to me. You know. So for drag, we grab this, we did that. Same thing. Replace those two lines, which is the same code, of course. Win active window. Now, before, is that what we were doing before or not? Or was this something else? Okay. There's an active window declaration there, so that is what we're doing. It might complain about redefinition here, but you know, I'm not sure if that will pop an error for us or not. So we're just declaring another pointer, because this here is a global pointer to the currently active window. It should be anyway. Setting the buffer, doing a v-wait, doing a redraw of this loop. Let's call sync, thanks. Alright. Active window. Y. We're just setting the width there. That's setting the height of this thing. Alright, so the limit of this thing can be, it's reduced to 110 is the lowest size of width it can be, and then that's the highest can be. Yeah. Chuck them in there. Should be fine. Active window. It's the width. That's active window height. Drawing this thing at the mouse position. I hate when stuff does this. Probably sound 100 years old. Because you can get little logic errors by doing this. So just do mouse X. Shorten her up. And for here, same, mouse X, mouse Y, thanks. And give it a false. I assume that's just doing a false render. We're freeing the temp buffer, setting the back buffer, win free image. Okay, so this is active window. So we're freeing the current image and then creating a new image, and then, oh dear, what the hell is this? Win bitmap. That's a new field we haven't seen before. I think that's a scale. I don't have a clue, actually. It makes sense that, so we're freeing the bitmap, making a copy of win bitmap 2. What? Why is it copying an image that doesn't exist? Since when has win bitmap 2 been created? Am I missing something? I must be. It must be just so obvious that, yeah. Ugh. Okay, okie dokie. Yeah. We'll press on because We just have to. We free the image. Let's create a new image, I should say. It's late at night, stumbling my way through this thing. Active window width, thank you. So it makes sense that once you've resized a window, it's going to recreate the surface. I just don't know what the hell or where that's come from. So maybe when you add a backdrop to a window, it keeps 2 copies of that up front or something. So maybe this is the original image. So it's cloning from the original and then it's scaling the original image down. Is that what's happening or what? I think so. I have to make that a function because maybe it doesn't work like that. When I resize this thing, its new width, its new height -2. I wonder why it's -2. That, I have not a clue what that does. Fix me. I think that might be, so when you do a resize, you could probably do, like we support filtering as well. So I'll put this down the bottom here. Rex overlap, pause. Image height. P-sub, BB, resize, sorry. Resize image. End P-sub. And the other, T form is the other one. That one. I don't know, we'll call it mode or something. So I'll just leave that as an empty function for the time being. We don't actually know what that's meant to be doing. Well, someone does, but I don't have a clue. So copy image, we need to do a clone of that. Okay. P-sub, BB, copy image, source image, end P-sub, destination image. So we're just going, you can do this a few different ways. I mean, copy image from memory will just copy the source, the destination index that you give it. So you can just go destination image equals get free image, which is, it's a way we ask PB for a free media index, and they're, because it's an image related command, we need to give it the image there. So anyway, we should just be able to go source image now, destination image, and that should function pretty much the same as what the blitz command's doing, I think. PB copy image, free image looks about the same. So this thing here will be active window. So that must be defined. Yeah, when that backdrop is set, it must keep 2 copies of it. I hope that's true because I'm just literally just guessing that. Refresh active window. Active window. Draw all GUI events, none. That wasn't too bad. I don't think it's going to work, but let's feel good about that. Yeah, let's give it a go. Gee, my voice is croaky tonight. Well, nah, it didn't work, did it? Unknown character. So what do we got that's wrong? Oh, okay. Window, quick save. Didn't work for that. Active window width. Resize image expecting equal. Okay, so that's resize image. We don't actually have that function, do we? I don't think so anyway. We don't. So this is image, new width, new height, scale, image, this image. We should do a if get image status this image. So we're being more polite about this. We're going, just check the thing exists before we start doing weird stuff to it, just in case something strange has happened. The library itself is assuming these things exist all the way through, so we'll give it the benefit of the doubt. But it's better to have some checking in your code and then maybe drop some debug notes out here. Let's say if you call this function here and it doesn't exist, you might have a second option here with a debug notice. I might just go bb resize image. Image doesn't exist. Oops. So when you're working on something, you can then running your program, you can uncover that, oh well, some function that's calling this function here is giving it the wrong image that's invalid. So, and work back through and trace these kind of often sort of insidious, like hidden logical errors that pop up in programs that the compiler just can't work out. It doesn't even try to do stuff like that. Let's try and do a build. Actually, scale image has more parameters than that. Scale mode 1. We need, when set to 1, it works in absolute size mode, because you can these can be both sizes and scalars. Scale mode with bilinear filtering. I think that's what that T filter is all about, command, I reckon. So you probably some modes where you can turn on filtering, so when it does scaling it will use a filter. I don't know, I have to go look that up. Alright, it's running. Now can I resize the damn thing? Nope. Hey, that's it. Alright, so I can drag it, and now I can I think we're caught in that loop. Are we? Yeah, I think we're caught in there somewhere. That weird selection problems. When I click something and it should be pushed to the front, but it's not. So that ordering code that we looked at the other day, I'm pretty sure it's stuffed. It doesn't work. What a surprise. But anyway, we've got one small thing that's been added. Let's go back to here. All right. Resizing this stuff here. The reason I like to do this stuff in a function comes down to, see how we've got this very long function. This GUI events function is huge. And a lot of the logic is acting upon globals, so you don't really know what's happening all the time. Alright, so window is active window right up front. That's good. So I'm assuming that's going to be true all the way through. Let's have a look at this. when we hover over something, when we're clicking it, so we've got all right. So what events have we got? We've got kill, change, scale, drag, and back, and minimize. Now, just want to make sure we've got all of the main parts. Kill, change, scale, drag, back, and minimize. But that's not all the logic though, is it? We're inside a select case. Sorry, we're inside an if statement there. Which I didn't think we were. Whoa, what statement is that? Where does that start? So I've got if window is null and this, sorry, if window is defined and this is also defined, which is the GUI default window. I don't know why it's comparing that. That's created when the GUI starts up, and I think it's generally considered to be the background. So our logic has got something wrong with the nesting. Oh no, sorry, we are in that block. Oh, yeah, we are inside that block, yeah. Oh no. Yeah, I think we're meant to be in here, actually. That's what I mean about being difficult to work out what's going on with really long functions, because you can't really see the alignment of stuff. It's not a complaint, it's just difficult to follow it when you didn't write it. So the first trace through here, if this, and I might copy that. Actually, I'll just load up the original, which I think it's already loaded. Let's load this thing up. And we'll go find that same bit of code. Right. Win event, mouse down, gadget, hit, gadget group. Do we have that? Okay, yeah, we do have those sections there. Then this is the GAD group hit. Check if the window is here, and but the menu interactions. If it's not menu, it's something else. Let's go back to here, thanks. This is the original code, so we've got window. At the end of that select, what blocks have we got? We're inside an else there as well. We're getting closer though, that the last else block there, gee, what are we doing there? I didn't even notice that before. That last else block is about detecting if win event is a quick menu, which is a different type of thing altogether. That doesn't concern me right now. Well, I don't think it does anyway. I just want to make sure that that's being called within the right indentation. See how there's an else statement here and an end if there. It's messing me up at the moment. That's the main if. So eventually there's an else statement for that. I think that's what we're meant to have there. That's why this code's kind of terrifying. It's just the indentation alone. It's like, where are we actually inside this thing? Yeah, that's definitely the main selection up front. So it's just going, is this win? Does the window exist? And if it does, then we stuff against the window or the menu. If it doesn't, then that's going to be GUI stuff at the end. I'll slot that in because I want this to be as complete as possible, as soon as possible, even though if the function, even though the function calls that we need to do this menu stuff won't probably exist. We should be in here. So this is win equals false. It does quick menu stuff. So GUI key, last key, menu down. There is a function being called. Okay, it looks free menus. I think that might have been implemented, but you never know. Short answer, no. It's not. Do quick menu, okay. So we'll pull this code across and then we'll comment it out just so we don't have to remove it later. Oh, sorry, we don't have to sort of work out where the call was later. What I mean is that if I comment out the calls to this menu function, whoa, please don't be huge. Yeah, it is huge. Of course it's going to be huge. Why do I expect anything else? So I love the fact that they use text here for the messages. That's really handy actually. It's a lot more intuitive. I'm just going to slot this down the bottom and then actually not going to worry about what it does. Just going to have this be commented out and then when it comes time to trying to implement this thing, because all we want now is the code we're focusing on that has this call to just feel like it's working, which it of course won't, because that's when that function call is called, we're going to have some weird stuff happening. GUI quick menu, free menus, menu over. It seems like they're things that are known to us. That's good. Another window. Right. So that's when we're kind of stuck in that render loop. We can click forward and backwards, which is good. I think once they're all behind that this default window, that doesn't work. So something's wrong about the Z placement, or the logic in there stuffed up. Not sure at the moment, but we'll push on. I really are struggling for where that select case block should be, because the number of if statements that are in front of it, there are large blocks of stuff. Select case in there, okay. So win event is menu, or it's win event is quick menu. We do this subsection here because we're interacting with a menu at some point, and that's one indentation. Sorry, that's two indentations across. So we're inside this block here. Now we're inside a third indentation when we get to here. So then it's like, whoa. This must change at some point. This win active menu stuff must change. That's why it's comparing it to here. So there's something in here must change the win active menu. If rectangles overlap and it's menu bar, alright, no worries. Refresh gadget. Maybe some of that pushing to front is done by the gadget stuff there as well, which we haven't got no concept of that at all. Oh. I just wish it wasn't so long and so indented. I'm just not sure what level of logic that select case is meant to be running in. It seems like it's running at the wrong time. Alright, so we've got else if, and then we've got two end ifs here, and then we've got our select case here. And these are the inside an end if. Starting to get a diminishing returns by looking at that. What I mean, so I'm starting to look at that and go, oh yeah, I get it. It makes perfect sense. No, it doesn't. Not even close. Yeah, well, that seems correct there actually. The other code block had an else end if closing off with the section of logic, and then had I'll put the that declaration at the top of the function. So we need to use active window. We can just grab it. Have window and active window there. It's not going to change our life, but that looks fine. Win menu, Q menu, gadget bar equals null. There's no menu. If WinGUI event is not scale and not drag, do something else. Mouse dot down, active window, G, active win scale. Okie dokie. GUI mouse resize event in scale. So that's being trapped, okay. Mouse not down. Why is it rendering that to the surface? Why are we getting the white lines on the image when it shifts around? Let's focus on that. Small mercies. Alright, so we're setting ourselves to the back buffer, clearing the screen, drawing all the windows, grabbing the backdrop as our new backdrop. Setting the back buffer, again, grabbing active window, which is the one that we should be interacting with. Moving me around, stretch box here, set buffer, back buffer, CLS. We're freeing the current image, creating a new image in the size of the user wants. Refresh active window, draw all. It's just doing what we just did anyway. So stretch box, ink draws to there. Local old RGB get ink. It kind of bothers me, these old functions where we don't have, not preserving colors and not doing those kind of things. This is that function I couldn't understand for the life of me what it was doing. I'm still a bit concerned about it, actually. Looking at it now. I don't know why it's releasing the image and if it's the same as buffer. I mean, what the hell is buffer in the first place? Just saying. Alright, we're dragging the thing around. We're all happy about that. But now we've got this white. See the white? So we're falling through that logic. Can we minimize? We can. We can drag the minimize window. But we're still constantly thinking that we're trying to minimize ourselves. Oh, that's bad. So that I clicked here and it was letting me drag that window. And once that's in front, you just can't do anything. So we'll just check the Zs of those windows. Bit of a save. See what's happening in the background. So the console art insert after, thanks. So grab this one. It didn't last long. Win list. Let's check the Zs. So the Z of this one is 1. And that's another window. That's the one that's behind here, I think. What's the size of it? Yeah, it's the one that's behind there. Test window has a Z of 2, and this one has a Z of 0. So that's the default window. But once that's pushed to the front, the other ones don't want to come forward. Which is definitely a bug I've introduced. Just saying. Good for me, right? Good for me. You know, if you can't make it work, break it. That's my current way of thinking. Now that behaviour was part of the GUI function, which was just up here before, wasn't it? Max windows. Window back. Current window is pointer. Yeah, I think that's broken. I don't think it's doing what we're meant to be doing. So we find the max depth of all the windows, the one with the biggest Z. Why do we need that? That would be my first question. Oh, there it is there, sorry. It's needed for the next part that requires that. Right. Closest Z. Active window equals closest. GUI active window equals closest. So I think that's what we're getting there, isn't it? What's the first part of that logic? Is the current window, does it have a higher Z than here? Does it have a status that's either it's been opened or it's been minimized or maximized? Yes. If it does, we subtract 1 from it to pull that Z down by 1. And then we're adding, yeah, so anything that's is bigger than the current Z, we're subtracting to come back. We're setting the current one to the maximum Z. We're pulling them down. So we're pulling them down beyond that point, yeah. Okay, that makes some sense. So we're only affecting the windows that have a Z that's greater than the current one we're looking at, which is this current window Z. And we're subtracting 1 from it. We're adding -1, which is the same as subtracting 1 from it. Checking if our status is bigger than that, and it's going to be. Does the thing exist? Yeah, okay, cool. Current window, so we're doing the second loop, looking for the one that's Z. That's going to be the foreground window. Once we find it, let's do an exit. Exit out of that, just to make ourselves feel good about it. It's not going to change the bug we're having here. I don't think it's going to change it anyway. So we'll look up this, which is where that clicking behavior was before. I click on the back button. Right. I'm a little bit concerned that window can be altered at some other point, because up here we're going for this active window. Is part of the selection doing that or not? Oh jeez. Oh, that's some of the functionality, so we don't need that. Mouse over windows, that works fine, doesn't it? We might just draw a box. Get like the Y pods. Get cursor Y. Get text height. Bit of a fudge. So I'll grab the current Y position, the text height. I'll just draw a box in the background. Box. 0 here, we'll draw it across, I don't know, 400. Sorry, at Y pause, we'll draw it across the 400 across, and Y pause plus text height times, we'll call it 6, and we'll say true, thanks, and we'll give it a color of kind of blue color. Use the box C command to do that. Right, that's fine. See how we're not, this section here is not appearing all the time, so we're actually not in that same loop. The state's been changed. When I drag something, yeah, it's not doing. We just can't tell what that's doing. To help us out, let's just make that, so make the in color white again. Two, two, three, three, four, four. Alright, so we're dragging this thing here, we're not drawing that at all. We gotta click to front that time though. We can drag it. It's over this one, good. See how the white highlight's still appearing? So it's like that mouse click is still reaching us all the time. So the logic is thinking that button's going to be clicked once. So the event there, drag is still the event. So once I've dragged this thing here, shouldn't it go back to none? Did I miss that bit of logic or not? I don't know. The moment I click on this thing here, it goes to change, and that stops everything else. So the problem we're having with that is that I've clicked on this thing here for change, but I'm not allowed to change the size, and therefore the event is stuck on this change thing, and that's locked up the GUI. Nothing works. Just saying. Alright, so we're about 50 minutes into this thing. We've got one new thing happening and a bit more understanding of how this GUI loop is looking. Let's do a bit of a look for change inside this loop. Yeah, I wonder what this gadget event stuff is doing. Maybe that's actually cleaning up after itself. After you do a resize. I'll just search for change, see what's setting that string. If get event is not a GUI selector, and it's not a scale, set it to change. That's a bit weird. Find and changes this GUI order function. So let's have a look. Okay. If GUI event is change, find next window, which I have no idea what that's actually doing, but you know, just saying, as the closest. If there's a closest window, grab the Z of the closest window. We run through the window list. We look for anyone that's doing what the other function was doing before. Trying through and using an arbitrary Z, and then subtracting 1 from all of those things there, and then pushing this one. Oh, hang on. Why is it subtracting 1 from them? Oh, gee, that's another one of those freaky bits of logic. Where does max Z come from? It's up there, so that's okay. Let me just find out what this does. Oh, next window is not something simple. I thought it was going to be easy. If we are overlapping this window with a mouse, that's very nice for us. Look at the current window. Is it status bigger than 1? So is it open or is it minimized? Which is going to be one of those states. We do a rect overlap on top of the window. So we determine if the mouse is over the top of this thing. We probably shouldn't do it in that order though, should we? We probably should compare the Z first, and then if it's, you know, actually what we're after, we worry about it. Like up here, we're doing an exclusion of this active window here. Not that it matters. I mean, it'll work either way. But for one iteration, what we're doing all of these comparisons here, checking if this is our status, doing a rectangle overlap against it, comparing our Zs, then checking if it's the one we don't want to even check, kind of at the end of all that. You know, it's a small thing, but those little small things have a nasty habit of biting you on the backside. Found index equals win. Return as found index. Okie dokie. CZ is 5,000. If the Z position is lower than 5,000, then that's going to be our window that we care about. Isn't it? Why are we doing that? When Z is not our gadget, if it's here, this is the closest gadget. This is the returning window. I get the current Z. Where's the closest gadget being used again? We might need to check that function out again. I'm not quite sure what closest is all about. Yeah, it might just be a bit of leftover code from the code was cut and pasted together. You know what I mean? So some functions you might just cut from another function. I think it is actually, look at that. So closest window is being declared and set there, but it never seems to be used outside of that. I guess it might be at the top of the code. I'm hoping that's not the case. Find closest. Alright, so win back is using closest. Yeah, so we're running through looking for the one that's currently has a Z of 0, and that's our closest window. That's cool. GUI order, change, closest window. Closest window is not equal to null. In other words, it found a closest window. We grab its Z. We iterate through the windows, looking for something that is So that's a strange one there too. Should that be looking at CZ? Like, what are we trying to do there? Why do we need Z at all if we're going to just do that to it? Maybe it's just leftover code. I think it probably is actually. We're reading the current Windows Z into a variable, and then we're going just subtract 1 from this thing Z, thanks, and then keep looping through. So if the windows in the list have a higher Z than our current one, we're pulling them all back one position and as of depth. And then saying closest equals 0, set our active window to Z, but that could be anything. Yeah, I'm uncomfortable with what that's doing. Because it really comes down to, is this active window being set every time something has been interacting with a gadget? I think so, but you just never know. Win back, it pops up 3 times, so it's not actually something that's used very much. Win front. Do we have a concept of those functions or not? Let's go win front. Don't seem to have a concept of it anyway. That's okay. Right, so we can drag it. Once we drag it, that event there is set incorrectly. It's still in drag mode, but with the mouse is not down, so we're iterating through that anyway. What I would think should happen is when we finish dragging something, it just, look at that. If I click this, oh no, if that's over this, and I click that, there's some sort of logic problem there where it's moving the active window and not the window I select. And the moment you click on that other window, it's literally locked into some sort of sort of permanent behavior. Right, let's go. We'll just try that theory out actually. So when we do a drag, they call it scale here, I'll set win event at the end of this. I would have thought actually that at the end of these things here, yeah, win event is none. And there's a mouse click situation there as well. If we go back, it's none, but it doesn't do it there. Look at that. And it's a right click process, so we do that. But it is doing it for that one there, so that's the scale, so that's kind of weird. I'll definitely clean those functions up. They're giving me the sort of horrifying me a bit. Alright, so when we go through here, that's just drawing the background so I can capture it. We don't need this active window, read if cleared. We already have it set to the front buffer, which is the back buffer anyway. Draw the thing, draw that thing there, do that cool thing. Clear buffer, go back. Oops. Ooh. Didn't like that. There you go. Alright, so we can drag the thing. That's better. We're going back to nothing after we drag something. That's good. Resize it. How are we going with that? No events after we resize. That's more like what we would hope. The menu's doing weird stuff, isn't it? I click change. Yeah, not too impressed with that stuff. It definitely should just go back to nothing after you do a change. The current window, win back. What does win back even mean? I think that's the internal linking for Windows. Clicking forward, that's good. So the moment you click on that, mouse over, now it's not even, it doesn't even return if you're a valid window or not. So something weird about that logically. GUI event's been cancelled. Wow, my word, what's happening with that? Go back to change, let's have a look. Sorry, do a search again. Change. Win/back. I wonder what that even is. So let's go and have a look at the window, the structure of the window. HTML. Where's it gone? Does the window have a back? Oh, yes it does. There you go. So if I do a search and I look for an assumption here, win/back. I wonder what that even means. So okay, so when the window is created, it's one of the properties here that we can have. So it's scalable, yes, draggable, minimize support, and back. Guess that means can you push it to the back? I think. Let's check it out. So win options, GUI refresh, win options. Okay, there's a weird thing there. GUI draw all, back, win. Do we have that or not? So if the window is allowed to go to the back, the current window is 0, is the foreground window, win back. Do we have that logic at all? I think apparently we do, but it doesn't resemble what I thought it was doing anyway. Drag, okay, win back. Okay, we do have something that resembles that, yeah. Window to back. So if you're clicking on a window that has its back event is set to 0. We are getting a white on mouse there as well. GUI event is none, thanks. And that's, oh sorry, wrong. Right, so there. So when the window is created, something there lets us change the options of the window, change the status of the window. Do a refresh. We can do a comparison with 0 there if we're not happy with that. If the title is, yeah, okay. Just trying to think, if you've got a window that you want to be at the back of all the other windows, or you don't want to allow it to be pushed to the back, it might be better to treat those as an absolute, like, so when you change the depth of something, it treats the ones that are set to not be clickable to have their depth set at some really high value or something. Or they're sorted within that. So when we're doing the push to front, push to back functions, we're actually taking into account, does this window actually should it even support being pushed to front if it's not? Which is not what they're doing. They're doing something different altogether. But that is why it's not working. Let's do a search for that back function there again. Event back. Now, that's where it's checking that, and win back is not equal to that. Thank you. We should actually have two layers here. Yeah, if we're checking if win exists, if win drag, event equals drag, if we're over this thing here, we're over that. We minimize here, and we're over the back button, if we're allowed to be. Where's it read mouse X, mouse Y? A long time before this. Gadget flows. GUI scroller, don't need that stuff. At least not for the time being anyway. And that when hit an event not menu bar. You just start to think this might be a lost cause. Key down. If key down. It's definitely a problem. Like if you click on another window, so if we grab this guy here, over here, we click this to front, that's all fine. Should be able to do resize, limits the size. It's all fine. Click it to front, that's fine. But the moment I click this other one to front, now we can't select the back windows. We're not even over a window now, so something about that. Maybe our problem is actually the hovering code. So at the end of this function. Is that checking to see anything special about the window or not? Okay, when hover, that gives you a hover state, but it doesn't actually give you a response for when you click on something. It does actively discourage though, doesn't it? When so if you think of the active window, and the active window happens to be the default active window, maybe that's what's stopping that. I don't know why you would want to prevent that, but alright, so we can click on our ones that we created. Well, not really, no, we can't. The active window is that background one. I've got no menu over functionality. Intriguing. Just restore that back to what it was. Just in case, you know. If active window is not, there's no active windows at the moment. I wonder if that, I don't know. This is the trouble. I don't know. I'm trying to pick through it piece by piece rather than just doing everything all at once. So after we process the window loop, we have active windows set up in here. That's all going to be child gadgets of that window, as far as I understand it anyway. So where does it set active window? Next. So we get window next, that's setting an active window. It's the old active window. Wow, that pops up in 2 places in the whole program. Here, active window equals. Let's just find those. So when we create open window, sorry, we're setting active window, as you would imagine. That's doing a release of that, so we need to concern ourselves if we're deleting the currently active window, which is something we should worry about. Win front, setting an active window there. Win back, closest, GUI auto. Get next win. So it's not used in very many locations. It's just for keeping track of what we are when we are actually active. So what I mean there is that the active window pointer or handle is not changing inside any of these functions. So it should be static across the whole section. Should be. should be impossible for that to be 0. So we minimized and our scale is this. Then we check it to do a resize and do I'm a bit lost. Yeah, a bit lost for her. Yeah, the moment you interact with that other window, we're losing that functionality straight out. Just check if minimize is still working. So I haven't checked that for a little while. Minimize me, thanks. Oh, sorry, it's below that. Minimize, maximize. Minimize, maximize. Yeah, it's definitely possible to end up in a state where we can't recognize what's happening with our interactions. Thanks for watching, and sorry about being so frustrating. We're getting somewhere with it, but it's just going to be a slow and tedious race, I think, at the moment. Till next time, I'll see you later. Bye.